Okay, so let's continue our discussion from this point, no? So, what are the best sources of protein? So, uh, the high quality proteins, the complete proteins, most of the animal based proteins like dairy foods, meats, poultry, and those plant sources that are of complete source of protein. So, we have your soy, okay, dried beans, peanut butter, and nuts. They are not that what's this complete no in essential amino acids compared to soy. Okay, so yeah, this is a graph that would show you the amount of proteins, but it doesn't mean that, for example, in these vegetables you have like 12 grams of protein per cup, but it doesn't mean that this 12 is considered of high quality protein. Why? Because lacking ya po ni siya of essential amino acids. So later on, you will know no, which amino acids are lacking in these vegetables. So, uh, yeah, although taas siya proteins, no, okay siya quantity, but dili di ay maayo iyang quality. Okay? So, mo na una to per me. Okay. Okay. Sige. So on protein bars, they are okay as long as they are not that high in sugar, and as long as you are not consuming a lot of protein bars at the same time, 'di ba? They are great, especially if you are, having your exercise or having your session in the gym. You might need like a bar no of a protein bar that what's this that would supply you like aside from glucose, which is very important for the workout because it is an immediate source of energy. It would also provide you protein para sa recovery. Okay, recovery uh, sa imuhang muscles during training. Okay, by the way, naay video no nga ah nga ako ang gi-insert sa channel nako. So please watch that. I think you must have watched that first no before my lecture. Okay, kung wala then tan-aw lang mo dito para mas ma-appreciate ninyo ang importance sa protein, especially in muscle building. Okay? Eating too much of protein can have uh, these consequences: risk of heart disease, risk of kidney stones, kanigyod. Okay, risk of calcium loss from bones because proteins, when they are metabolized by the body, they would produce acidic metabolic byproducts, and of course the body would try to buffer it, and one of the buffers that the body employs no is calcium from bones. So imagine if you are eating a lot of these proteins. So, moabot ang point no nga mahimong porous kayo imong bones, causing osteoporosis and even fractures. Okay? Risk of colon cancer and displacement of other nutrient-rich disease-preventing foods. Kani sad kaning colon cancer no because this is proven that a diet that is high in red meat and processed red meat can increase your risk no, of developing colon cancer. Next is, what about eating too little protein? Um, that would result to protein energy malnutrition. So protein is used for energy rather than its other functions in the body. This is what I have been emphasizing, di ba? And this would happen if you are not eating adequate amounts of calories and or proteins, di ba? So other important nutrients are also in short supply, and this is more prevalent in infants and children. Although PEM uh, may also occur in adults, especially in hospitalized patients no, experiencing catabolic diseases. So, in order to identify PEM, we would want to use the SGA assessment form, which I have presented to you in chapter 3. No? But in the community setting, we might observe no, that there are really infants and children, especially those who are in the GDAS, geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas, katong mga remote kayo nga mga areas, dito usually ninyo makitaan ang PEM cases, no? So without adequate protein, guys, what would happen? Digestive function is inhibited because enzymes are made of proteins. So how can your body make enzymes for digestion if the amino acids needed for the production of such are lacking, di ba? And the cells of the GI tract would also not be in their proper integrity, no? And they would tend to slough off, okay? And that would lead to reduction of absorption of nutrients, and intestinal bacteria would easily get into the blood, would easily cross the intestinal border and cause infection called septicemia, and maybe cause other diseases like foodborne diseases. And since the immune system is compromised because kulang ang proteins, dili kayo makahimog antibodies ang immune system. Antibodies are just proteins. So, immune system is compromised, would be compromised, and tungod aning infection, samot nga dili ma-fight sa immune system. So, that would lead to a phenomenon called vicious cycle of malnutrition. Nga, um, tungod sa malnutrition, nigamay ang resistance, nigamay ang competence sa immune system. And as a result of that, dali ra ma-infect ang bata. And na-infect ang bata, di na siya ganahan magkaon. So, samot nga magka-malnutrition siya. And that cycle will just go on and on and on until such time nga mag-intervene na ka. Until such time nga, i-treat na siya. Okay? So, yeah. So, we have different types of PEM, no? First is Kwashiorkor. So, this is severe protein deficiency, and this would generally result from a diet high in grains and deficient in proteins. So, symptoms range from edema in the legs, feet, and stomach. That's why this child with Kwashiorkor looks bloated, like, yeah, but dili na siya tungod kay fat na siya or tambok siya. Actually, very thin na siya. It's just that medyo niburot lang siya tungod sa edema or panghupong. And it happens because nigamay manggudi ang albumin. And I told you last time that albumin is needed in the water balance, no? Yeah. So, muscle tone and strength is diminished. Hair is brittle and easy to pull out. The child appears pale, sad, and apathetic. And the child is prone to infection, rapid heart rate, excess fluid in the lungs, pneumonia, septicemia, and water and electrolyte imbalances. Okay? As a result of hypoalbuminemia. Okay. Marasmus is another type of PEM, which unlike Kwashiorkor, marasmus results from a severe deficiency in calories. Okay? So, total energy ang inadequate sa iya. Okay. Kani, this happens especially in those areas nga puros ra carbs ang ilahang pagkaon. Like for example, kanang mga far-flung areas, kanang mga isolated areas sa gyud kaayo, like ang ilang ginakaon permi kay puros ra kasaba, balinghoy. Unya ang balinghoy carbohydrates sa baya na, empty calories baya na, no? So walay proteins kaayo. So maunang magka-kwashiorkor ang bata kay walay proteins, puros ra carbohydrates. But you know that carbohydrates do provide energy, so dili ra siya lacking sa energy. But kani marasmus kulang gyud sa total energy. So bisag carbohydrates wala gyud gyapon, kulang gyud gihapon. So mahitabo ni siya sa mga areas nga wala gyud pagkaon at all. Okay? Or pwede ni mahitabo for example during war. Oo, kanang if you have watched documentaries in Yemen and in the Middle East no nga naay mga sa Afghanistan nga naay mga ongoing wars, ang mga bata wala nay kaon and usually marasmic. Okay, so they would appear frail, emaciated, weakened, and appear apathetic. Many cannot stand without support. They would also look all their hair is thin, dry, and their hair lacks sheen. Dili shiny, no? Ang ilahang hair, body temperature, and blood pressure are low, and they are prone to dehydration, infections, and unnecessary blood clotting. Okay, so luoy kaayo. But this is the most severe form of PEM, the combination of the two, marasmic kwashiorkor. Kani is long term nga wala na gyud sila kaon-kaon kaayo. Okay? Long term. So mahitabo ni usually sa Africa no nga wala gyud ang kuan like unsa man ilang ginakaon, di ba? Labi na nga naa sila sa areas nga na ay drought, wala kayo'y crops. Yeah. So kani chronic means long term na. So have edema in legs and arms, have a skin and bones appearance. But with the treatment, but of course, are is PEM treatable? Very treatable. And they can be treated in a nutrition rehabilitation center or in a hospital, knowing nga dapat ang mag-supervise is, aside from the doctor, dapat na R&D. Okay. So, how is PEM treated? Medically and nutritionally. Sa medical nga part no, ang infection kay most likely na ana na infection ng bata no. Yeah. And it's coincided with the medical nutrition therapy which is headed by the R&D. The premise of the treatment for PEM is gradual reintroduction of foods. Emphasis on the term gradual. Dili pwede nga first day sa rehabilitation pakanon dayon nimo siya tanan niya nga caloric needs kay i-meet nimo. Dili na pwede because mamatay ang pasyente if inana. Okay? Kaya kung biglaon na nimo na siya pakaunon og kanang mga pagkaon, magka-experience na siya og refeeding syndrome, and that involves life-threatening electrolyte imbalances. So dili dapat like kana tagan mo siya food dayon kanang pinadaghan. Okay, slow lang. Small meals lang. One at a time lang nga meal. Dili nga pinabulk yun ang ihatag nimo. Okay? Less than 50% of the caloric needs of the patient. Sometimes gani mga 30% lang dapat day 1. Then kung walay electrolyte imbalances, day 2 pwede na i-progress to 50%. Then within a week, pwede na nga maka-reach ang 80 or pwede na gani maka-reach siya 100% sa ihang calories. Okay, basta hypocaloric lang sa first. Okay? Sige, so yeah, this is the quick review. You can just read this. Okay. What about vegetarian diet? Do vegetarian diets lack protein? The answer is obviously no, because there is you can definitely create a vegetarian diet that would not make you protein deficient, given that you incorporated a lot of soy and quinoa, and you also know the principle of protein complementation, which I will discuss now in the separate slides after this. So yeah, we have many types of vegetarians, guys. We have lacto-vegetarian, kani siya gaitra siya og milk and milk products. Maura na. Okay? Plus, of course, plus plants. Ang wala niya ginakaon kay tanan nga animals-based source except sa milk and dairy products. Napud tay lacto-ovo-vegetarian which allows which allows the consumption of milk and milk products and eggs, but the rest of the animal-based foods are avoided. We also have ovo-vegetarian, wala na milk, but pwede ang egg. Diba? So, lacto means milk, ovo means egg. Napotay vegan. Kaning vegan mo ning strictest form of vegetarianism because bawal yun bisag unsang animal-based food. Bisag trace lang na nga bisag part sa animal dili pwede. Strictly plants ra gyud. Okay? We also have like semi-vegetarianism which would make the follower consume uh, animal-based products, all animal-based products occasionally lang, rarely, not on a daily basis. So, mo ng mga semi-vegetarian. Okay. Benefits of a healthy vegetarian diet: reduce risk of heart disease, reduce risk of hypertension, diabetes, and basically all the lifestyle diseases. That's why I would also recommend people to have vegetarian diet. Because yeah, um, because that mo ni iyang mga benefits. Okay. But natay mga risks if dili properly planned ang diet, if dili maayo ang pagkahimo sa meal plan. In other words, if wala nag-consult sa R&D. Oh, ngano man, kay mao ni ang potential risks niya. Protein deficiency and vitamin B12. Kanig yun. Vitamin B12 is not found in any unprocessed plant. Walay B12 sa vegetables, walay B12 sa fruits, walay B12 sa whole grains. Ang plants lang na ay B12 kay katong mga fermented plant products like kimchi, sauerkraut, kana lang sila. Ngano man, because vitamin B12 can only be synthesized by bacteria. Okay? Animal foods happen to have B12 because naa may B12 sa karne no, and sa egg and sa milk. Okay? Yeah, pero sa plants wala. Okay? So that's why unsaon man ni nato pag-address sa B12 lugar. Mag-incorporate ta mga fermented plant products sa vegetarian diet, di ba? Or pwede pud ta para sa vegan na siya. Okay? Kay ang vegan dili man pwede nga magkaon bisag egg or mag-inom og milk, di ba? Okay ra unta sa mga vegetarians like mga lacto, ovo kay makakaon man sila sa animal based. So B12 is not a problem. Okay? But sa vegan, mo tang options, fermented plant products like tempeh. Okay? It's an Indonesian fermented soy, no? Which also tastes good. Okay? Other than that, mag B12 supplements sila, especially kanang mga over 50 years old na nga mga vegan. Okay? And naa di ay other type of vegetarian which is called pesco vegetarian. Pesco means fish. So gaalaw sila og fish sa ilang diet. Which is good because fish is healthy. That's what I have been emphasizing. 'Di ba? So I am not yet a vegetarian, to be honest, but I really would like to. I have attempted, okay? Pero I guess wala kaayo na ako na follow, no? But yeah, very soon enough, no, ako na gyud seryosohon gyud akong pagka-vegetarian, and I choose to be pesco lacto-ovo vegetarian. Okay? Kay I think kana akong ma-maintain, no? I'm actually practicing IF, intermittent fasting now. Pero tungod sa kabisi, no, di gid na ako ma-incorporate ang vegetarian pud nga lifestyle. And if una-unaon nimo ang pinggang Pinoy ga-promote og vegetarianism kay one half good sa plate puros plants, diba? And then naa pa gyud kay rice. So mahimo na 1/6 lang ang protein, which kanang 1/6 pwede pa gyud na nga soy, di ba? which would be completely allowed for vegans, di ba? So nauna ni mo ang healthy diet is vegetarian. Okay? As long as, walay micronutrient deficiencies. Okay? Naman gud uban nga practice of vegetarian nga bisag iron og zinc malaking sa ilang diet kay ang ilahara po nga gulay nga ginakaon kay the same ra gyapon nga gulay everyday, so walay variety. So unsaon nimo pagkuha sa iron ug zinc ana, so mao na magka-deficient sila pud ana nga nutrients. So dili na na healthy kung magka micronutrient deficiencies ka. So mao na ato ang tanawon. Okay, but again, you can really avoid these deficiencies being a vegetarian. Okay, as long as properly planned ang meal plan. Soy is good. Okay, because it's a high quality protein. Okay, and yeah, um, naay mga plants that are also high in iron as long as it is paired up by vitamin C rich foods, because vitamin C improves no the bioavailability of non-heme iron which is derived from plants. Naaya pon mga taas sa zinc like mga soy nato, mga soy products nato. And if you are not a vegan, like simply a vegetarian lang, like pesco, then naay zinc sa fish, di ba? So di ira ka ma-deficient ana. Calcium, yeah, dagan kay mga vegetables that are high in calcium. Vitamin D, you can get vitamin D from mushrooms. Mushroom is an excellent source of vitamin D. Okay? Riboflavin, na ay mga fortified plant products that are fortified with riboflavin, and naasad mga vegetables, mga whole grains that are high in riboflavin. Vitamin B12, again, mga fermented plant products, and if gaalaw kag fish or eggs or milk, then this is not a problem. Vitamin A also, dagan kayo na siya sa fruits and vegetables. How about omega-3 fats? If you are a pesco vegetarian, then you would not be lacking of omega-3 fatty acids. Okay? But what about if you're vegan? You can have like spirulina supplements. Okay, kana mga chlorella supplements, kana mga algal oil, kana sila taas kayo na siya sa omega-3, which is also a vegan option to them. Okay? So, putting it all together, yeah. Okay. I think, mabasa rin ninyo ni. Nasabtan na rin ninyo ni. Okay, so that's it for these slides. Again, this part of the slides, I do not own it. Okay, disclaimer. But here, this is a simple uh, slides. So yeah, this is definitely my property. Okay. Kani continuation lang kay murag mao ni siya ang kulang sa katunga slides, no. So, naay classifications of amino acids according to the chemical composition of their side chains, and na-discuss sa din yun siya sa inyong biochem. We have basic amino acids since naay additional amino acid group ang ilahang structure. Naapod tay acidic amino acids that contain additional carboxylic group. So we have aspartic acid and glutamic acid. We also have neutral aliphatic amino acids, those with straight side chains. We also have neutral aromatic amino acids, kani kay mga katong naay mga kung sa inyo ha pa nga term, mga piatos-piatos sa ilahang structure. So naay cyclical, naay benzene rings, no. Naapod tay branch chain amino acids, which are your valine, isoleucine, and leucine. Okay? Mauni sila ang major components sa muscle proteins. So, muna yung structures. So, just for the sake of illustration, again, you don't need to memorize this. But, you may opt to, di ba? If ganahan mo mag-memorize. Okay? Okay, according to the fate of metabolism, there are amino acids that are deaminated in order to form fats or in order to form ketones. And that's leucine and lysine. And those are called as ketogenic amino acids. And there are those amino acids that are deaminated to be converted to glucose, and those are the glucogenic amino acids. So in our discussion next semester in nutritional biochemistry, of course, we will be, dealing with this a lot. Okay, like with the pathways and everything. Okay? So papyaw lang sa karon. Okay. Sige. According to the structure and spatial arrangement, we have fibrous and globular. Fibrous proteins are those that are tough and water insoluble like keratin, 'di ba? We also have katong globular which are relatively water soluble. So example are albumin, okay? Yeah, examples of fibrous proteins, okay? And examples of globular proteins are kani. Okay? So be mindful ha kung unsan sila nga mga proteins then aha sila associated. So kani examples of proteins and then ilahang occurrence or function. Kamo na lang basa ani. This is the complete amino acid sequence of unsa ni nga protein kaha. This is insulin. Okay? I remember my biochem teacher memorize ang niyang sequence. Okay? Grabe gid si ma'am gyud kay memorize gyud niyang sequence gyud. Okay, so inana siya. Unsa ka ni siya nga mga structure? These are called disulfide bridges. And this happens between two adjacent cysteine residues. Okay? Tungod sa ilang sulfur. Okay? Natay mga sulfur containing amino acids, the cysteine and the methionine. Okay. Ways of improving the protein quality, we have fortification. This refers to the addition of amino acids in the desirable levels so that the food contains more than what originally exists. Enrichment is to restore what was lost during processing. So lahi sila nga mga terms although they both involve addition of nutrients but lahi of stage or aspect. Si fortification nag-add siya og nutrients kay tungod kay kana nga food originally wa gid siya kana nga nutrient. So gi-fortify niya. Ang enrichment na siya nutrient nga inana especially sa iyang unprocessed form but after processing nawala manggod katong nga nutrient. So ibalik, i-restore. So that's enrichment. Okay? So pwede ta mag-fortify actually og plant proteins. Okay? I-add lang nato tong mga limiting amino acids or katong mga kulang nga amino acids. Complementation refers to the combination of food proteins such that one lacking in an essential amino acid is provided by another rich in that AA or amino acid. So let's look at this table, no? In each food group na ay limiting amino acids na ay high levels of amino acids and na ay suggested nga complementary protein. Okay? Notice that eggs and milk do not contain any limiting amino acids, right? Because they are high quality proteins. Okay? They are complete protein. Okay? But they have certain amino acids that are in high concentration. Okay? Your plants are expected to have limiting amino acids because most plants are incomplete. Okay? For example, grains. Most grains contain a few of lysine, so kulang ang lysine. Okay? Most legumes, kulang ang methionine. Most nuts and seeds, kulang og lysine. And other vegetables, kulang og sulfur-containing amino acids like cysteine and methionine. But on the other side of the table, no, kaning grains sad nasa siya sobra-sobra pud kaayo nga amino acids like Sa grains, sulfur-containing amino acids, the cysteine and methionine. Sa legumes, lysine. Sa nuts and seeds, methionine. And sa other vegetables, lysine. So, masay pasabot aning complementary partner, kumbaga, such that kung i-partner nimo sila duha, ma-fulfill niya ang each other's lacking or each other's deficiency. Kumbaga, mao gyud ni sila ang meant together because they complete each other, di ba? So, based on this, unsa nga atong ma-partner-partner para mahimo silang complete protein? Ang grains, kulang siyag lysine pero taas siyag methionine. So unsay pwede nato mapartneran sa iya? Ang vegetables. Okay? Kay ang vegetables kulang og methionine so pwede siya mapun-an sa grains. And since taas man kayo ang vegetables sa lysine, then pwede niya mapun-an ang grains nga kulang sa lysine. So i-partner lang sila duha. So good example of that is rice, which is a grain, and any kind of vegetable like for example saluyot or malunggay. So i-partner na nimo ang duha, wala na nahimo nang complete, di ba? Because they complete each other. Di ba? So okay ra gyud di ay na nga magsud-an tag vegetables. Okay? Oo. Kay makahatag na siya complete protein sa ato. Although na ay mga gulay guys nga wala gyud protein at all, so mangita gyud gyapon tag vegetables nga taas og proteins like atong broccoli, okay? Mga cruciferous vegetables para ma-make sure gyud nato nga ma-complete ang protein. Pwede sa grains and legumes. Diba? So, sitaw and kanon. Diba? So, pwede. Ang nuts and seeds, pwede na ito ma-partner with other vegetables and other legumes. Okay? Or, pwede ra yun ta like grains, then magsud-an tag itlog. Diba? Kana, makomplete siya. Ana-ara na siya, guys. Okay? That's the process of protein complementation. So, if you are a vega, if you want to practice veganism, then that's it. This is it. This is your answer. Okay? Para dili ka ma-deficient sa protein. So, I think that's all about proteins, guys. So, ang mga questions ninyo, again, I can cater that through your GC. Okay? Or through face-to-face before ta mag-midterm. Okay? Just ask me. Okay, so let's now proceed to the next part of the chapter, which is all about fats. Thank you.